So you find me back down the shed for this little video, as always. So I thought this was going to be a really easy video, if I'm honest with you. I thought I was going to do my little project over there. So I went racing down to see Terry at Hampshire Models, bought some FlexiTrack, a little natter on the way, came racing back, and I steamed into the point work over there, which was really good and I enjoyed it. But then I started, once I'd finished that, there was some other work. Obviously I re-ballasted there, I touched up a bit of ballast here, and then I started painting this, and then I started doing the work on the infrastructure, and it just got, I ended up doing so many little jobs, it's unbelievable. But if I'm honest with you, it's brought the layout. There's all these little bits you do things to make it work, and it looks okay, but there's just little bits that just need doing. And it's like I bought a static grass maker, a proper one, so I throw my fly squat one in the bin, and I'm still learning how to get the flocks right. It's not easy. It's just something. It's a technique you need to learn, and I got to keep practicing. And I have changed the grasses several times, and I will change them again. And it's because I'm trying to learn to get the grass how I want it, and I haven't got there yet. So much as people say it looks fine, to me it doesn't. It needs to be better. But I will learn, and that's part of what we're doing. One of the other jobs I took on, which was needed to be done, was the third rail all the way around the outside of the track for the DMUs to run on, because really DMUs were running on just normal rail, which just didn't look right. So I needed to add that third rail all the way around. I've got loads of these chairs, loads of them, because I bought these to do the fourth rail on the underground, and I'm not going to do that because the stock that I'm running, the A60 stock, didn't use the fourth rail. It actually used the third rail. So and being my little shuttle from end to end, I don't really need that on there unless I'm going to run a tube stock, which would be a 1938, that kind of thing. So pushing that aside, won't be doing that, and if I do, I'll only do little bits in like plastic card or something like that. But I probably will steer away from that, if I'm honest with you. The third rail is all in place under here, and it's all now on the outside. Now I've got loads of these little chairs from Pico, so I've had these for many years. I've pulled them all out and I've dropped them, and they ping off and they break and they melt. The glue melts them, and yeah, get rid of them. I don't like them. I have tried 10 times to do them, and I just can't do them. So I've done it in my own way. I've explained, and a lot of you will cringe, but there you go. It looks okay and it looks good. So what we'll do, we'll have a look through the video at things I've been doing, and then we're going to do a running session at the end of, get the camera down and long shots and some trains running, and then you can see, you'll see the difference in the work that's been done. So let's crack on. Stop me from talking, and I do think I need to grab a cup of tea. So we'll crack on, and then we'll get into the video. Very well. So I think the time has come to drop one of these in there, which means I'm going to have to move the point over. So I'm going to have to reassign the point motor from here down to here. It's not a problem. So we're going to pull out this section here. Now I don't really use a crossover here very often. I mean, it's nice to move trains from this side to the layout to this side, but I can do that on the other side over there. So I think I have that ability to do that, but this would completely give me smooth running, and I think this would look less of a complicated sort of point work. So what I'll do is I'll show a shot of it running around as is now, and then I'll do a shot of it after, so we can do a comparison, and then we can see the overall look. Right, so let's do a little test. Going to run the 101 DMU through there, and it will jump off the track, and then she'll jump back on. Oh no, there you go. So that works. Filmed it 3 times, it jumped off. No, it doesn't. So just run it through. You can see though the way that the middle bit really kicks out a bit of speed. There you go. and that's the problem. So I think that's conclusive that that is not working. I think the heat's got to it a little bit and it's caused a little bit of warp. So I'm going to pull out that section as I mentioned, and then we'll do a comparison at the end. So, cleared out the area they need. I might have to just take a little bit more off. I've been soaking it with water, and that helps to loosen the ballast slightly because it's on cork. So yeah, that's the express point. That's going to go in there. I'll have to move that back slightly to there. So I'm just sort of gauging where the hole's going to be. That's going to have to be about there, I think, and that gives a nice slip off the platform. Would work quite well. But now I've got this gradual slope into there, and I think a bit of flexi will accommodate that position from there to there. So should work, fingers crossed. And a bit of flexi in there, that'll do that. Should be quite good. So I'm going to readjust this bit, cut this down, cut the hole for the point, get the point in because I've got to move the point from here to there now. So in the usual manner, I'm using my grey ballast mix that I normally use. I'm using a medium blend. I think fine would have been better going back to the previous build, but I've always stuck with medium, and that's what I'm sticking with now. So just adding all the ballast in all the right places, and then we'll glue it all down, and then we'll do a proper respray going forward. Right, so it's now a couple of days. This is set quite nicely, so I've left this literally to really set. Nice and solid. I've pulled out, I'm putting a little relay box in there, so I've made an indentation and I've pulled it out. So I'm going to add different point motors around the layout, not just one style, because I think that creates more of a generic look of different changes throughout the area. I think where I've got like a good yard or stable yard or something like that, a hand crank point is really good to have. So if there's not a signal box, that they can physically change the point. So crack on with the spraying. Let's see how that comes out. I've got to try and theme it all back in. I might try and lighten it down a little bit. But yeah, I'll see how that goes. Probably end up being darker, knowing me. Right then, so we'll crack on in true spray style. So with weathering track, it's entirely up to you how you choose to do your weathering. I use rail match colours like many people, and I use roof dirt, frame dirt, that kind of thing. Now the frame dirt is a nice browny colour, it gives you what you want. I add a little bit of black sometimes just to give a slightly darker colour, that kind of thing. So I theme it to suit the rest of the layout. And then what we'll do is I think we'll have a comparison of what it was before, and then we'll have a comparison of what it is after. So looking at where you can see now, let's have a look at what it was before. And you can see there's a lot of black in the rails, which is okay. There is a lot of black in 1980s. You had a lot of diesels and steam, that kind of thing. So then looking at now, it is a touch lighter, which is better than it was before. So we do a run all works nice and smooth, and I'm happy with that. Right, so probably day number 5 out of many weeks, but I've now laid some third rail, which has gone, literally steamed on with this. And what are you doing there? I said steamed on. I didn't say put steam on the layout. You donut. Go on, disappear you. Oh, they do try. So, as I was saying, I've cracked on with the third rail, and I've literally done it all around down here and all around to this side. I've got that bit gluing at the moment, and I did lay some track pins, and I've done them every 5th or 6th sleeper, and I put them in, and once I weathered it you couldn't actually see them, but all it did actually do was lift up the rail too much, and then it was catching on the loco. So what I've actually done, and I've cheated, and I know a lot of you will say I'm a sinner, I've actually glued some rail straight to the edge of the sleeper, purely to get that prototypical look, once I've weathered it of course, but in realistic terms I want the reliability and the ease of cleaning the track, so that's really more of a key thing for me than rather getting that super fine detail that you probably wouldn't see unless you looked up close. And to be honest, I just want that from a side sort of view. Being BR, they were really filthy anyway, so a lot of the chairs were dirty. So while I'm over in this corner, before I carry on with the rest of the maintenance on this track, because I'll only bash it and it will move, I'm going to carry on with the paving stones in this corner here. So I'm going to finish all this off. So I'm going to make them up and then lay them in. There's not many to do, so it'd be best to get that done. What are you doing in the road? You're going to get run over. There's a bus coming. No wonder the buses are not moving. Oh, that's Tony Northeastern that encourages that, you know. Anyway, so I put stairs in and he stands in the road. Right, so I'll finish them off, and then that will be that bit done, and then hopefully he can stand back on the pavement again. Oh, banana bread. Right, anyway, so I'll carry on with this bit, I'll carry on with that bit, and then I shall carry on with this section, which will be all the rest of the track down this end, which gonna be another couple of weeks, I think. So I shall carry on in true style, and well, just pull my finger out really, or stand in the road. Right. So using the Cricut machine, I have worked out some paving slabs and literally cut them all out, so it just saves me a lot of time. So realistically, all I'm doing now is just adding a load of PVA glue at 100% down in this area, and then just going to add each individual tile to the floor, giving a sort of tile effect, if you want to call it. I will sort of change it from one style to another, because I just want to add a little bit of different characteristics to this section. Once I've done all this, it'll be a case of weathering them over, and then adding some filler just to fill in the gaps, and then some grime just to make them look as if they're used. Right, so if we actually look at the corner over here now, I've finished off a few more touches. I think I'm actually done now in this corner. I've just added a little bit more grass and some tea leaves to the tree there, just to give that sort of like some of the leaves are dying on the actual tree itself, and then a few at the bottom. Tea leaves are quite good for that kind of thing. And then you can see then I've actually finished off the path now. What I've done is use some modelling putty, filled in all the cracks and crevices. I'll be careful when I say that. And I've added our modern figure mummy and daddy sort of couple there that have just got off the bus. It's not over modelled, it's a very small cameo with lots of little detail, but realistically it's just 2 bridges and a set of stairs. So I think all in all it really does give the vibe of Acton and London and Old Oak Common, which is really what my ultimate goal was. So yeah, I think that I'm really pleased the way this turned out. So let's move on from this section here. I've added some weathering effects to the bridge. I've gone overkill with weathering, literally done. This would be the most rustiest part up on the top there, and I've done it. I went really heavy on the sides, then I've just sprayed it back with the grey just to sort of blend it in. The spray then overblasts some of the heavy rust. So yeah, it looks better than it does. It looks like a metal structure now, and it's like a nice little scene under there. Again, I've done quite a lot of weathering underneath the bridge there. You won't see it much, but if you catch it on camera, I'm going to try and upgrade these lights above so I can get a bit more light on the layout. But they might just shine that rusted effect underneath the bridge is what I want, and then obviously the rust on the top but not on the sides. I think that works quite well. As of the grass area, I've just tidied up the grass, toned it in a bit more to sort of match the grass this side, so you can see the layout actually sort of pretty much is in unison. I've been doing it over many years, trying to match the grasses, and again, I'm still learning about making grass sections. I'm not the best, but I'm getting there. I need to hoover this bit up at the moment, but yeah, it looks a little bit more cleaner throughout the layout. I now need to tidy all the yard up, so this needs some work doing to all down here. So I will change some of this, or just tidy it up, make it a bit more believable. I need to add a support in some way to this gantry. It keeps sort of lopsiding, so I think I need to add a support down there. So that's something I'm planning to do. Point motors, I've been adding all the dummy point motors, and I need to do dummy wiring for them. So I've added the compressor unit in the middle, the point motor, and obviously the point heater, and I've done that on both sides of the track, so that now has them. They're prototypical as back in BR era. I will add some different point motors into this section down here. The idea is these will go, these Pico ones, I don't like them, they're like the M3 kind. They will go, and I'll add some old style in this section, pretty much like I've done here with like a hand crank, so you can change the point manually. I think all in all, I think there's time to have a break, so I think I'll stick the kettle on and go and have a brew, because I think it's time for, hello, what's this coming around the corner? Oh, stick the kettle on. You really do try, don't you? Right, so I've just done some repairs to this section of track, so I've just added this as well. This is a bit of a late addition, and I've just regrassed all the little bank there, which looks quite good. I'm next going to spray all that railing a very dark grey to try and disguise some of the, you can see some of the white that's bled onto it, so I want that to look dusty, dirty, so it's going to be grey brown, all that cabling. So that's got to be the next job. What I've also done, I've just ripped out all the tree and that part of the oil depot. Now I'm thinking before I completely remodernise it, I might sort of just create more of a space by moving that there, and then I can then fill this up with more pipes and stuff. So I think I've put the office down that end. I think having the office there where it sits gives me a bit more flexibility in this tiny area, and then I can add probably then do a makeover on this itself and take away some of the brick wall and add that into a better structure. I will redevelop it, but I've just thought while I've got to this point, I could actually sort of just rehouse some of the components, and just putting that there really creates a nice little barrier there, and it literally just frees up the area here. So you can have a little play, see how that looks, and again, it still doesn't look wrong with the whole of the scene, so I'll just sit and have a little play how that looks. Right, so carry on as we do. Another little job, basically just touching up the ballast. I've been painting it with different kinds of greys, different tones, and just sort of feathering them in with dry brushing effect. So I've done this all around the ballast, all around the whole of the track. And then it's a case, this little area right in front where you see the little yellow vans, I have taken it upon myself to change the little road here and pull out the bushes. So I'm going to make this more of a
although common kind of look where the train overhangs into like a sort of car park, or in this case a little bit of grass area. And again, that will change in time. So I got to this far. I've readdressed the roadway, doing sand, and then doing different kinds of greys, and then I've redone the grass. And this gives me the feel of the train in the car park, which I will redevelop this, and I will make this a proper car park in the future with the depot upgrade. And whilst I'd done that corner, I obviously moved over to the other car park, and I laid some PVA down and some beach sand, that kind of fine sand, and then added yellows and greys, dry brushing that yellowy gravelly look onto the car park, and using some oil washes to tone it all down.
So I'd just like to mention the guys at Rail Stuff. They've got a website, they've got loads of bits and pieces. I bought these from the Great Electric Show where I run into them. They got a stand there, and absolutely lovely guys. Had a great chat with them. They've got a load of great products, and so yeah, I went over and they recommended these oil washes, which I've been using around the layout, and I must be honest, I do love using them. So if you're looking for these kind of things, or just any other little knickknacks, do give these guys a shout. New into the business, and literally really helpful, really nice guys. So I recommend the guys at Rail Stuff. So thanks to them, and hopefully catch up with you soon. So I just made a few of these little air duct things. I thought they looked a real good touch. I've made that one, a couple on the side there, and then I've made this one here, look. So that looks quite good. I've also added one on the parcel depot because I think that needs something to vent the fumes out from the diesels. So that looks nice and sort of where it should be. I need to put some dirt on the roof, and that'll be my next job after I've done the grass and hoovered up and moved the houses. So yeah, some nice little air vents, little air conditioning units. I've done them in a creamy colour, this one down the bottom there. So yeah, just made them up. Yeah, they look really good, and certainly adds a bit more characteristic to the buildings. It's coming on glued, but that's and I've added a little bit of rust effect on there, not too much, because these would have been sort of steel at the time. Some of these ones definitely would have gone a rusty colour. New ones are aluminium, but which I've added that sort of aluminium look, but the collars of steel, and then they sort of rusted around the framework of it all, so not to go overkill on that one. Well, this brings me to the last bit I really need to do, and that's this section down here. I need to add some new grass into here, because that is just really flat and horrible. So I'm going to regrass this little scene. It's been a long time overdue, like many things. So this is the last of the jobs that I need to do today, and then the layout pretty just needs a little tidy up of hoovering, and then we can get some trains running. Well, what a busy video. And I didn't tell you the last thing that happened to me. I had the roof leak as well, so I had to replace all the roof, all the lining, all some of the timbers on this side, because there was a small hole, and it was actually leaking on that point, funny enough, and it was creating the ballast to be soaked slightly. And I like that word, slightly. Have you noticed that? It was making the ballast wet, which was causing undulation of the point work there, that was pretty much what was causing them issues, I'm pretty sure. So that's now readdressed. The roof's all sealed, so that shouldn't come back, and it should be a little bit drier and hopefully a little bit warmer. It is actually chilly in here today, so there we go. That brings you to the end of my video, really. So thanks for everybody for watching, subscribing, and following my journey. Without your support and questions and answers, it wouldn't give me the enthusiasm to do the things I do, so it keeps me going as well. And it's nice to touch base with you guys and see how you're all going. I'd like to say a massive thank you for everybody at Gets. I was on the Hornby layout for a couple of hours. It was great catching up with all the public and the guys at Hornby. Thanks for all the work that they do, bringing this hobby to us, and doing these shows, like the Milton Keynes show. So it was really good, really full out 2 days. I was exhausted, but I certainly enjoyed it, and I met some great people and some great traders, like the rail stuff guys and transportation, which is they do the packaging. So there's some great traders out there. Bought some new bits and pieces. I've now got an O gauge engine, and I've now got an O gauge coach and some track. It's huge. So that's my other little project that will appear in time. So yeah, I've gone up in the world slightly, but and then I want to go down in the world. I've got some ideas for N gauge, so hang in there. Anyway, I'm going to say cheerio, look after yourselves, and as we always say, happy modelling, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheerio, guys.